Hello, this is Mr. Knight. This is your Algebra Chapter 1.3 Writing Expressions. This is our real quick video here. So let's look at some key concepts here, translating specific verbal phrases. When we look at addition, that operation, sum, plus, total, more than, increase by. And then as an example, the sum of two, that means the sum of two and a number, x. So that's the sum of 2 and a number x. Then if I look at subtraction, that would be difference, less than, and we're going to come back to this less than because this is a very, very critical one. Minus, decrease by, so the difference of a number, n and 6, so it would be n minus 6. And again, I'll come back to that less than in a minute. When we look at multiplication, you're looking at times product. That's a typical word that you see, multiplied by, and the word of. Okay. So if I look at 12 times a number y, it's just 12y. Then if I look at division, you have quotient. That is a very big one you see very, very often. Divided by, divided into, the quotient of a number k and 2. And whenever you see that word quotient, the very first thing you see is your numerator, and the very last thing you see would be your denominator, so it's k over 2. So let's go back to this less than. And I need for you to make sure that you understand. Let's say that I had, let me put this in purple. Here's an example for you. It's going to be underneath here. 6 less than n, and n would be my variable. Okay. Now typically when you turn these when you're translating the verbal expressions into an actual mathematical expression or variable expression, you write it as you see it. It drops down as you see it. Nothing changes in order, if you will. But the words less than, the words greater than, something actually happens. The words less than actually mean, if I wanted to translate that into another English word understanding, is subtracted from. So it's saying that 6 is subtracted from n. So this expression is actually n minus 6, not 6 minus n. So typically, the only ones you see that with are the words less than. So if you see the words less than, make sure that's a mental note to you that you're not going to write it as you're reading it. It's actually going to be slightly reversed, so be very cautious of that. Okay, so let's go to our next screen here, translating verbal phrases. So this says for less than. Oh, there's my less than. For less than the quantity 6 times the number n. So 6 times the number n, and it's 4 less than, so it's 6n minus 4. The word quantity, all that means is that's letting you know that it's there's two parts here, or I'm combining what follows, if you will. The reason why they put that, I'm going to erase this right here. The reason why they put that word quantity there is that if that quantity was not there, then I would read 4 less than 6. Well, 4 less than 6, I would think this, times a number n. So I might say times n, or I might do something like that. But that's not how they wanted you to write that expression. Therefore, they put this word in here that's called quantity, which lets you know what comes left or what comes next. You're actually multiplying, or you're doing some operation first before you go back to the beginning. So it's 4 less than this quantity, and that gives us 6n minus 4. Okay. So now let's look at B. It's 3. Oops. It's 3 times the sum of 7 and a number y. 3 times the sum of 7 and a number y. So this would be 3 times the sum of 7 and a number y. So that's 3 times, set of parentheses, 7 plus y. And now let's look at C. The difference, which is subtraction, right, of 22 and the square of a number m. So the difference of 22 and the square of a number m. Okay. Now notice that used the word difference. I know it's subtraction. If that had used the word less than, I'm sorry, it would be like 22 less than the square of a number m. That would actually be reversed. If the words less than were used, that would be m squared minus 22. Okay. But in our example, the difference of 22 and the square of a number, would simplify to this. Okay? All right, I think we're on our last slide. We are. So let's look at rate. What is a rate? A rate is a comparison between two quantities with different units. So it could be $2 per 3 hours. It could be $6 for per 7 pounds. It could be 100 kilometers per 2 hours. So a rate is a comparison between two numbers, 2 and 3, 6 and 7. These are in my examples, 102, that have different units: dollars, hours, dollars, pounds, kilometers, hours. So it's a comparison between two numbers and with different two quantities with different units. Now, what's a unit rate? Well, take any one of these, and all you're doing is dividing both numbers, the numerator and denominator, by whatever that denominator is. So if I had a rate that was $8 per 4 hours, that is a rate. Now, to get a unit rate, you would end up dividing both numbers by that denominator. Okay? A unit rate is defined when the denominator is 1. So if I divide my numerator up there, I would get $2 and divide my denominator per 1 hour. So this is a unit rate because my denominator is 1. And all you did is whatever that denominator is, divide both the numerator and denominator by that actual denominator. Okay? Another example, let's do, there was a bag of oranges, and they cost $12 per 4 pounds, and they want to know, find a unit rate, or they want to know what the cost is per 1 pound, which is the same thing as finding a unit rate. Divide both numbers by 4, and you would actually get $3 per 1 pound. Okay, so this is my rate, that's my rate, and this would be a unit rate. Okay, so that ends your video on 1.3. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow.